Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 467. Let's see who shows up here, what we're doing today. And so, interesting, our previous video we just drafted Pantheon, so we'll stay away from that one. I feel like we also drafted Talia maybe 2 videos ago, so we'll stay away from that one. That's going to bring us down here to this Quinn as the the champion we have drafted the least recently. And so, Quinn and scouted out. That's going to work for me. Let's go ahead and get her pulled up on the site. If you're not familiar, we are just over here at ftpbus.com. That's where I keep all of my expedition-related content in one easy-to-find place. We'll just be on the front page here, make our way to this little drop-down box, and scroll it on down to Quinn. And so, yeah, this is Quinn. She pairs up with Misfortune, and this is the Scouts archetype. And so, fairly common these days. If you're playing Constructed, they've been kind of a menace off and on, depending on the meta. And the decks that we try to assemble here in Expedition would be pretty similar to the decks you would see in Constructed. We like to follow a couple of themes. We can't really and consistently get together both Quins and Misfortunes, so we'll probably just be like Quinn plus something else. But either way, the idea is we're trying to attack multiple times in the same turn, and then the best way to take advantage of attacking multiple times in the same turn is giving your units some kind of boost. And so if we play, the Quinn Bird, it has Scout. We play a Riposte on the Quinn Bird, we get that barrier to attack. We survive because we have the barrier. Then it gets to attack again, and still have that plus attack bonus. And the place where we'll really see this come into play is with Vanguard Sergeants generating 4 Demacias. And so if we have a board of like 4 or 5 units, maybe 2 or 3 of them have Scout, we play 4 Demacia, hit with all of the Scouts, and then we get to re-hit again with all of those stats. And that tends to be how you take advantage of these games. The other thing to really pay attention to here is we have a lot of challengers, right? So naturally in the archetype we have Fleet Feather Tracker and then Quinbird, and then we also have something like Grand Plaza up in the epic space. Lots of challenging happening here, and so if you're able to find things like quick attacks, if you're able to find things like the barrier guy, Bright Steel Protector, whatever you can do to protect your challengers, that's usually what you are using to help us get to the late game to where we actually have this board full of Scouts and are able to drop the big 4 Demacias. And so, sounds good to me. Let's see what we got here. Quinn with a Riposte and a Fleet Feather Tracker. Looks pretty good. And then what are we going to move on with? And so we have a couple of options. I don't think we ever take the Karma, right? The Ionia, it's just playing big units and elusives doesn't thematically work well together. Our elusives never get blocked, so our opponent still just has a bunch of little units around. The little units block our big units. Nothing particularly compelling happens there. Now, the other options here we have would be Twisted Fate, putting us into Bilgewater. Not super interested in it. Twisted Fate is extremely good. He is still kind of like one of the best champions in the game. Objectively, I should say, right? Everything important comes after the butt. Everything before the butt is a lie. However you want to look at it. It's just the problem with Twisted Fate is Bilgewater is so bad, and so I used to love adding in Twisted Fate into decks like this because we do get into like a lot of these combats. Like we'll start dropping a bunch of Fleet Feather Trackers. I feel like the last time I drafted Scouts, I had like 6 Fleet Feather Trackers in the deck, and they tend to not be able to get a bunch of trades. But if you hook a bunch of 3/3s. With your Fleet Feather Trackers, leave them with 1 health, and then clean everything out with Twisted Fate. That tends to be a pretty good deal mana-wise. But this puts us into Bilgewater, which we really don't want to do. And so, got to stay away from that one. That brings us back here to the Ziggs, which I'm fine to take. It's kind of off-theme thematically. There's not going to be a lot of cards out of this landmark destruction that work well with the Scouts, but we do at least have a high quality set of units here, right? Ziggs is a 3/4 for 3, which is an excellent deal. Arena Kingpin is a 4-attack quick attacker for 3, is a good deal. And then the Lecturing Yordle, he's definitely weaker now. Dude was much stronger when he generated the dart on play. but still a nice meaty unit that can do some board cleanup, very similar to what we were talking about with Twisted Fate, where we attack down a 3-attack unit or a 3-health unit and then clean it up with Lecturing Yordle. And so I think these are going to be okay. Let me pull up the Ziggs here real quick. I'm wanting to take a peek at what lives here. Yeah, it's just a bunch of early game stuff, right? The Kingpin, the Bomber Twins are fantastic 2-drops, right? The 5-stat 2-drop with upside generating a card, quite good. The Inventive Chemist we won't really be looking for. This is for the landmark style build around, but Lecturing Yordle also quite strong. Very small card pool here, but lots of high quality dudes. And it does also put us into Bandle City, where we could find some powerful Poppy style cards. I wouldn't be opposed if at the end of the day our champions were 1 Ziggs, 1 Quinn, and 2 Poppies. She works fantastically with this go wide scouts kind of concept. But on to the next one here. This again, we're not taking Bilgewater. Both the Minefield and the Contraption are something that we would only want in a landmark space deck, which we're not, right? If we started like pack 1 with Ziggs, and then we went into pack 2 and had options to draft like landmarks, but passed on it to pick Quinn. Like that's one thing. If we start with Quinn and then pick the Ziggs second, you just can't draft landmarks, right? There's no landmarks in Demacia, so we're like just kind of stuck drafting around Demacia here. But we do have the Fleet Feather Tracker with a Riposte. Nice little set of interactive units. Another set of turds down here with the Inferno Bomb and the Contraption. I will say if we take this Darkness Rising pack, it'll probably make Darkness Rising appear in every synergy pick. The game just loves to show these. Like if you get a single Darkness card in your deck, you probably will see Darkness Rising the rest of the way. And that's not what we want, right? We're not going to be a Darkness deck here. So that does force us into this War Chef single combat. Not super ideal, not horrible, right? The War Chefs kind of improve in quality as we pick up more Fleet Feather Trackers. Just not particularly good at surviving combats on his own. Okay, so here again, this is more Yordle Contraptions. It's like I'm not opposed to Arena Kingpins, but we need ways to give a challenger, which we're just not going to find. And so there's like, you know, the landmark destruction packs that are good are going to be good. It's going to be like Kingpin and Bomber Twins, but outside of that, there's not too many of these Bandle City packs we're going to be after. But with this, I'm going to pick up the Ranger's Resolve, a fantastic combat trick to have 1 copy of, and then the Badger Bear. Of course, a very strong unit in terms of getting stats on the board. Okay. Ooh, this is what I like to see here. I love seeing the Mentors pack turn up. I'm half tempted to take it just to see if we can't get Poppies to show up in the future. This is a really good Relentless pack down here to the right, though. But man, like this is like exactly how I want this deck to craft out, to where we get Poppy in pack in Champion Pick 3 and Champion Pick 4. So I think I'm going to go for this. I do concede that this is like an extremely strong Relentless pack. Like Screeching Dragon is some of our preferred top end, but I really want to try to find Poppy, and I think that's the way to do it. But here, we're not giving up on the Scouts. This is a great Scout pack. Happy to snatch up these bros. Quite strong. I could see picking up the Brightsteel Protector, but we only have like the 2 challengers right now, right? If this was like, you know, if we picked up the Protector instead of the War Chefs earlier, that would have been great, but I don't feel like we quite have the density of Fleet Feather Trackers that makes me want to pick the Protector just yet. Beautiful. Love it. Love seeing the Mentors pack show up here. Again, this is a wild pick, but I'm really hoping we can pick up these Poppies. And with this, I am going to take the back-to-back. There is the Detain here. I kind of feel like we should be able to get some kind of interactivity and not have to take this now. We should be able to find a Concerted Strike, a Detain, a Heroic Strike, and the Poppy Flip. I don't think it's like ultimately important to take the Detain. It's not like we're drafting Targon today. So the back-to-back is fantastic. Again, like when we talked about using the 4 Demacia with the Scouts, the back-to-back works in a very similar way. Okay, and so here we'll take the Quinn Bird. The Purple Berry Shake, not that good. Stone Stackers is much better than War Chefs, but I want the Scout unit out of this. Yordle Captain's fantastic here, right? This works quite nice with all of our early game Scouts. And, you know, getting the Captain on board and then dropping even like a Green Fang Warden. So we have the 3/3 Divine Shield Scout. Quite powerful things we can be doing there. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so I think the only place we're really hurting is like I want like a little bit more top end. If we had some Poppies, it wouldn't matter, but we got to get up to that point. this. What's our Badger Bear style count at? we have the one Badger Bear and the one Ziggs. We don't have any guys that make 4 Demacia just yet. So, do we want this War Chefs? These are just so bad. I think we'll go with the single combat out of this. Like, Ziggs is such a good single combat target. Glad to have him. Here we have access to our first rally. We definitely want one. And so I think I am going to go ahead and take the rally. I'm not opposed to adding in a second back-to-back to a deck like this. It tends to be kind of expensive, but it works nicely in these when we get our board like fully wide. But I want to make sure that we have one rally here. All right. Ooh, this is a pack. This is a tough one. I immediately saw the Vanguard Sergeant and wanted to snatch it up, but we do need like some kind of interactivity here, and I kind of want the mini-morph. And the Yordle Squire, again, pretty useful in these decks if we need to give a challenger an attack boost, or if we're wanting to take down a 1/1. You know, we can give, say, like a Quinn Bird a point of toughness, take down the 1/1, and then hook something else. You know, it has its definite uses in here. And our last one, let's just go with the big challenger. I think we're good on the single combat style cards with 2. We don't really need to go up to 4. Then these Thunder Fist style things aren't that strong. Okay, so I want to hang on to the Lecturing Yordle. Let's pick up the Sharp Sight. We're getting like a little spell heavy, but one of them is Blinding Assault. So it's not like we're like super over on the spell count. Sharp Sight's such a strong spell as well. Okay. Let's see if those poppies turn up here. So before we get there, we do have to go pay the pay-to-win gods, live in this pay-to-win lifestyle. Let's see what we have. Probably not going to have. It's like I always feel good when we pull up Bandle City. Since they're so new, I feel like there should be like cards that we can get. And oh, goody. Look at that. We got a common in the Yordle Captain. All right, Riot. You're not getting all my money today. Purchase failed. I've seen that happen before. It's actually premium. Okay, on to battles. Yeah, not a bad little deck we've got here. I think that was a nice little pivot into recognizing that we can kind of jump into that Poppy archetype. It's so good, like between the Yordle Captain and Poppy and all of these like little challengers, you can typically find like one really good attack that just comes in and snowballs the board. All right, so Quinn and Ziggs against Quinn and Lucian, the old relentless bros. Let's get rid of everything here. We need to find some of our early plays. Right, not a bad little curve. Where are you, LOR Guardian? Looks like the little symbols up there. Oop. All right, rear guard. Get boomed, my friend. And so now we do have kind of a decision, and I think I would just want to bank the mana, right? Playing against this dude, a Babbling Balladeer's single combat should work. And so I just want to get this one on board. We're unfortunately not going to be able to take down the Marauder before we can play a single combat, but we can technically do it next turn. All right, so we're gonna add Tracker. We're most certainly gonna try and combat this Legion Marauder this turn. Dude's being little clever, huh? Maybe not big clever, just little clever. Curious what he's going to come at us with here. If it's going to be like a riposte. Okay. I don't think he realizes we still have this tiny spear. He can't get out of this. Like, if he gets a Ranger's Resolve or something, I think that's still pretty good for us. Okay. We still have answers to this dum-dum. We've gotten pretty heavily invested in it, but as long as he's not dropping strength in numbers, I don't mind that much. We can just block. something like that. Excellent. Now we should just be overrunning this board. We'll get the bird down. We'll drop the Grizzled Ranger next turn. We should be able to start taking over from here. Do have to worry about something like Armored Elephants coming down. Would be a bit tough for us to deal with, but if he's, you know, playing very similar cards to us, we should be able to do pretty well with what we have here. Alright, so everybody loses their scout. And how do we get something good out of this, right? These single combats, we do have the single combat onto the Vanguard Redeemer, but nothing else here looks particularly compelling. Let's just pass. Make sad noises while we do it. It's just like we're at this weird space to where the attacks aren't good enough to warrant the amount of damage we can get in for. So what's he going to do? He's going to hook our Challenger, right? This is where we need back-to-back. All right, well, we have to come in with this stuff now. We can't just pass back and forth. We're not getting ahead. We have to do something. Ugh, this is bad. This is bad. So I was gonna say he's just gonna block everything down here to the left. But we gotta like clear out some of this board before he just aces us with this for Demacia. This is bad. Well, alright, let's let this happen. I'll single combat Quinn with our 2/4. Since it should survive, and then we aren't like completely overwhelmed here. This is bad. We're not going to beat this for Demacia. That's the real strength in these Vanguard Sergeants. So, would you rather have a Loyal Badger Bear, which is a 3/4 for 3, or given the chance, would you rather have a 3/4 elite that generates a spell? I wonder which of those is the better option. I wonder. But all right, that's fine. That his cards were better than ours at just pretty much every turn. And here I am going to switch into the Garen. It does worry me in terms of what like trade pick will get offered up next, but he does a couple of things. He does allow us to attack multiple times, right? He gets that rally ability. And you might find some kind of like small elite synergies. Things like Green Fang Warden are elite. And so we might get something in those terms. Still want to just find poppies, but he could be a good addition. And it's some top end where we're really hurting. All right, so what are we doing with this one? It's like coming out against what should be like a slow grindy control deck. It's like I want to find something cheaper, but the curve stuff we found is just so strong. Like the Yordle Captain is quite good in making our small units not suck. So is hoping that we could get some power out of him. But I'm really not happy about not having a play until turn 3. This is pretty meh. That's the way it's going to be. Opponent's got to do something. No way. No way he's going into turn 4 without playing a card all game. We do have nice combos with this Yordle Captain, assuming he gets rolling here, right? If we play Quinn, he gets to boost both of them. If we play Grizzled Ranger, he gets to attack as a 4, and then the Badger Bear comes back out. Lots of really strong stuff we can be doing with these. Let's see if we can get him blown up with a Black Spear. Alright, at least it wasn't our doings. He did already kill the unit. Okay. Need to add something to the board, but I also want to be able to riposte. So let's go with the Grizzled Ranger out of this one. Something like this. Indeed, indeed. Alright, that makes me feel a little better. So let's get this Quinn going now, right? We do have these combos to where we can attack twice this turn. The next turn we can Golden Aegis and potentially get our flips with Quinn. And so let's see if we're going to have any decent hooks here. Can Purpleberry Shake into this stuff? It's not particularly ideal. Let's just hit with Quinn. So we can hit with Quinn, and then we can attack with our our non-Quinn units. And then next turn, maybe we'll get like a barrier hook with the Valor. So let's switch back. I don't think he has Black Spears at this point, right? If he had... What do I know? Like, that's really surprising to me that he has Black Spears, but he's not trying to shut down Quinn. I wonder if that means that he just has, like, a Vengeance in hand. Or he's not worried about a rally. One or the other. This is pretty good. There's some argument to not just like blow our wad with the rally right away, but ooh, wow, I was not expecting him to just play a 1 health unit into this board. So now that's good. Now we can add in like Yordle Squire, put a +1 attack onto Valor, then Quinn will hook the other unit for us. This is going to be good. We're gonna start tearing this one up. Just like hunting pressure geese. Am I right? How many times have I said that one to you all? It's just like hunting pressure geese. Preach it, girl. Alright, so we got him to 6. Now we can just go for the open kill. And so we can technically attack with Quinn and she'll hook that dum-dum. And then we can re-attack after, but even if he like answers Quinn, we should still be lethal here. That gets around weird stuff like him having Ruination or something. Cool. We're safe for now. Poppy, nice, got it. So yeah, I think that's where we want to go with this. That was, a pretty good Quinn game, but Poppy is the champion I really want to be doing all of this stuff with. And so a little bit of top end as well and another mini morph. All right. So cool. So yeah, things in the life of Bust. Just watched the classic 1989 movie, The Wizard, starring Fred Savage, Christian Slater, also featuring a young Tobey Maguire in there, and it's quite the compelling tale. Fred Savage's brother is emotionally traumatized. He had to witness his sister drown directly in front of him. Not humorous, but could certainly see that put some emotional damage on a kid. And so they put him in an institution. Fred Savage says, "Nah, not to my brother. I'm going to bust you out." And so he busts them out of the institution, and their idea to enrich their life for the better is to travel 3 states away to Los Angeles to compete in the Video Armageddon, the video game championship tournament of the day. Collect that 50 G's and be on top of the world. And so yeah, they get into all kinds of stuff. Like they're apparently traveling for over 10 days. These kids probably between the ages of like 7 and 11. Takes them over 10 days to get there. They have modest sums of money, which they enrich through gambling on Nintendo games. And then it's just like nobody cares. Nobody cares that they're out there. It's just like they, I would assume like these days, a couple of kids roll into the bus station and try to buy a bus ticket to Los Angeles. The ticket dude would be like, nah, fuck you. What are you doing, little kid? I'm not selling you bus tickets to Los Angeles. But apparently, people in this movie just don't care. They let him go to the casino. Just just roll inside. One of the protagonists' friend with a lot of truckers. These dudes will just drive the kids all over the place. Never once would you say, where are your parents at, kid? What do they think? Are they just cool with this? They're cool with me just driving you across the country? Okay. It's fucking wild. But my big pleasure was they also were fairly, like, I was expecting them to just be like full derogatory on these kids in terms of the terminology and the words used. I was expecting a lot of hard R's to be dropped in terms of the mental state of one of these children, and they didn't do it. They didn't use any R bombs. They did pretty good in terms of keeping things somewhat PC. But all right, what are we doing here? Back to the action before things get too far out of hand. I do want to attack. Like, this isn't a great Poppy attack, but she at least gets to boost herself. And then we'll see if we can't start to build a board from here. Got to stop talking about the wizard or we'll lose focus. Not a lot's happening with this hand. We didn't find any early plays to help our Poppy get wide, but from this point forward, she should be doing fairly good. And opponent's playing the Braum Ionia Poros deck, so we're gonna have to see if he's gonna drop the Iceborne Legacies on us. We do have the Sharp Sight in hand should we need to get in the face of one daring Poro, but that's not something I'd super worry about. Oh, he's not shit. He's in Ionia. He's not in PNZ. I thought he was gonna be out here doing cool stuff, but not the way it's going here today. All right, Swiftling Lancer ready to go. This doesn't flip his Braum. All of his units die. What's his angle here? It would be something like an AoE. He has an AoE, we have Ranger's Resolve. Okay, we can still Ranger's Resolve through this and Sharp Sight down the Braum. Okay, now we just have to decide next turn if we want to like open and back-to-back, which seems pretty strong, or if we would prefer to just like riposte with Poppy. I think we definitely want to be attacking with her though. Let's go for back-to-back. He's got another something. I'm curious if he's thinking about dropping like a Poro snack or something here. Roll chant. Okay. Poro Snack would be a little unfortunate. I'm curious now that we've like seen this play out with him having these tricks, if we would have been better served to say just hook a smaller unit with the Lancer and then like save riposte for Poppy. But she's made it this far. Now he 100% doesn't have any more Poro Snacks, right? He would have played Poro Snack to take down Poppy if he had it. He could have just drawn one now, but he certainly doesn't have one in his hand. Poro Sled. So what do we want to do with this turn? Do we want to try and like riposte this down, or do we want to save our riposte for next turn and try and protect our Poppy? I think I'm on board with the try it next turn. They can have like weird shit like Sonic Wave, but I don't think that's going to be particularly common here. All right, how much damage is this? Let's start with looking at this. We'd fall to 3. It's a little scary against their overwhelms, but we would finally get like Braum going and then still have a big board. I think we can move to this block a little bit safer. Again, I don't think he has a Poro Snack or he would have played it last turn. I think I feel a little bit better about this. Okay, and then we're going to look to like open attack next turn. Okay. So we're losing Braum, a little sad, but at least seeing Syncopate and then us not die is kind of cool. And then let me double check how this works. I don't think we want to add any more units to the board. Or, I mean, like if we do this, Poppy should grow, then Poppy's a 5, so she grows to the Lancer, right? Yeah. And then the new question is, if we intend to riposte Poppy this turn, do we want to just give her Challenger while we're at it? And that's another unit that we could impact with the Duelist. Or we could look to... the other thing I was kind of looking at is, like, what if we play Lecturing Yordle and then just shoot his Mighty Poro? And then we can say Poppy hook the Jubilant Poro. I think I like that. Let's just get all the stats on board that we can. Oh, hang on, I forget this guy doesn't bring it down on play. I think it's still okay. I was intending on playing this, get the dart, and then shoot the Mighty Poro before we attacked, but that's not that's not how this card works anymore. Okay. So he didn't return our Poppy, which is kind of nice. How big is she when she attacks? She has 5 health? That's a lot. That's a lot. And I think we should be able to get a pretty good Ranger's Resolve here. Right, so she has 5. Everything has the impacts. We can do this, right? This is his scary unit. You can get a couple of good blocks. Okay.
No hero, huh? Guess I'll finish this one.
Yeah, God. Your animation lasts like an hour. But we can see what we want to do here, right? We have the dart, which I don't think we'll use, and I think we have some getcha factor with this Ranger's Resolve. We can protect our Lecturing Yordle here if we want. It's going to depend on how the stats fall. Okay, let's protect. All right, then importantly here, we killed all of his good units, right? These are not the scariest things in the world, the Lonely Poro and the Nimble. Okay, we have our post to protect Poppy from this hook. Excellent. Purple Berry Shake does a similar thing. Ooh, a little scary. So he most certainly has Poro snacks now. And then the Poros are random. I'd say that's probably where we're finding ourselves here, is he's going to make a Poro snack attack. He's going to snack, he's going to hook Poppy. That's his only good attack outside of the daring. That's fine. Did she go? We can just attack with everything, right? I want a Purple Berry Shake Poppy before we attack, so that she'll have 5 health and won't just die to Jubilant Poro. I guess we could just hook the Jubilant Poro, though. Well, he's got another snack in hand. And then how do we feel about adding the tracker as well? I think this is okay. It's another impact. What are we doing? Like 3, 4, you don't have it yet. 5, 6, 7, 8. So we should just be lethal here, right? So if we do this, we can hook here. It takes 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Should have snacked Poppy, right? So as we're neg forward. Okay, poor snack doesn't do anything. More snacks. The biggest of Yordles all over the place. It says neg 3 now. Watch him be like, frostbite. Excellent, excellent. Man, good to attack 4 times with Poppy. That's putting in some work. All right, good deal. Go us. Wonder, there's that card. What's a like Scout's Medallion or something? Hang on, I have to look it up. I haven't seen that thing in ages, but here I'm gonna pick up. We don't have to take Concerted Strike, right? We already have the 2 mini morphs, but kind of interested in it. The Ranger's Resolve is something I like drawing 1 copy of. I don't like drawing 2 copies of. So let's pick up the removal. But no, there was like I guess it's just not an expedition anymore, right? I haven't seen this thing in ages. Field promotion, right? Next time you play a unit this round, granted Scout, it's now an elite. You used to be able to do like weird combos with this thing, like like giving your Poppy Scout and attacking over and over again. But I think this has been removed from expedition. I guess you can technically find any card in the game in trade picks, but I haven't seen this thing in I don't know how long. It was reasonably powerful. But on to the next one. The Wizard. Oh my god, that was quite the film. Giving you all the good movie choices. Go ahead. Diana and Twisted Fate. It's a little scary. I mean, Diana does combat pretty well against all of our units, and so I'm going to hang on to the Purple Berry Shake. Right, if everything is going right for opponent here, they're going to be getting a lot of Nightfall challenges and taking down our Yordle Squires and the like, and so it's not like super safe since they tend to have a ton of Pale Cascades, but you know, let's at least make them work for it if they're going to try and slam us with a bunch of Dianas. Not a bad start, my dude. Well, I'll feel a little bit better if they're just dropping star charts. I mean, he can follow this up with another unit and be pretty aggressive looking here, but I really feel like if he had a Pale Cascade and a Diana and stuff, he would just be passing. Poppy was a fantastic draw.
Darkness hides in their path.
They should have a fairly tough time dealing with Poppy. Like I almost want this to be a shield now. To slam the shield onto Poppy, be a little bit safer.
What are you looking at me for?
See, we got the single combat protection if we need it. Say like he blocks Poppy with the Sky Shadow and has a Pale Cascade. Red card. So I think this is okay. Like it's a good opportunity to single combat if we want to, but Poppy's going to grow to. No, we have to play another card. Shit. This is still okay-ish. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to actually to single combat there or not. Shouldn't have like too many ways. I mean, there are a decent number of ways out of Bilgewater to deal a single point of damage. Not tons of them though. I'm gonna play stuff like Boom Ship, you know, not really super strong cards. So let's see how we can go about this. I don't care about this Twisted Fate. I'm gonna add the Grizzled Ranger so that we're still adding stuff to the board and can single combat. And then next turn we'll see about adding in a Quinn or something. Ooh, Spiral Stairs. Love seeing that. Alright, he's at least attacking with the Shade Stalker. Well, this is going to make us sad. I guess it depends on where he puts the hooks. I mean, I assume he's going to hook Poppy with Twisted Fate. It's a quick attack challenge, but he'd have the single combat if he was going to be letting us do that. Alright, so I mean, like, how all in do we want to go on this Twisted Fate? I think, let's do this. Let's start with this. I'm not going to make a Quinn attack this turn. The way I'm looking at this is I want to try and take down Twisted Fate with the Swiftling Lancer, and if we're going to play the Lancer, then I just want to add the Fleet Feather Tracker while we're at it. I think this is fine. So where are you at? Swiftling Lancer. Now we can Tiny Spear the Fleet Feather Tracker, hook the Shade Stalker, and hook the Twisted Fate. Want to attack with these others. It's nice to put like some of the damage onto the Firebrand so that we don't just like have to hook it with Swiftling Lancer. He's getting fairly low. I mean, this will take him to 9. Okay. We can get fully wide pretty easily. He's going to block the 3-4, I think, with the... So that takes him to 9. His attack looks pretty bad, right? If we just... He's never going to want to trade this thing for the Grizzled Ranger. So I think this is good. He hits, has the warning shot. Okay. This is another space to where I'd like to get Quinn and single combat down. So let's just start with the Owlcat. Like if we're finding ourselves to be in like a really good open next turn, like say he spends all his mana here on dumb shit, and then we're able to single combat down the Yordle Grifter with the Grizzled Ranger, so we get the unit back. And then we're able to hook the Firebrand with the Swiftling Lancer. It's a kill. So right, here comes the Quinn. Hot damn, it's the boss. Nice work, Grizzled Ranger. Hot damn, it's the boss. So does this change anything? Like, so right here's the idea. If we're, I mean, I guess we can use Quinn to take down the Grifter as well, but we're gonna have like this amount of units. The Scamp is gonna block the Lancer. We're gonna have a hook onto the Firebrand, and then we're hitting for 8. So we're actually a point short this way. I think we can still work around this though. I'm just not going to single combat anymore. I want to get these scout attacks in. It's okay if we get to trade Quinn for the Firebrand.
Scouting ahead.
Back to back's pretty good.
Made choices.
Yeah, let's just get this off the board. We can get wider than him now. So he can maybe add another unit to the board. Sure. Feels good if he's just boosting that thing. Doesn't seem like, it seems like if he's actually has a unit he can play, he would have just done it, right? Because we still get to make more attacks this turn.
Feed Demacia. Feel the sizzle. No one goes hungry.
Hi, dude, feel the sizzle. Sure. Boomed him. Nice. Excellent, excellent, they say. And then we're going to add an additional poppies. Is this like 3 back-to-backs? That feels like quite a bit. It's our second back-to-back, our first Keeper's Verdict, and then the second poppy. Okay. All right, I'm convinced. So yeah, we need to get rid of like some of this expensive stuff to push it down the curve a little bit, but otherwise, this is a pretty decent looking poppy deck. And the thing that I like rarely do that we do need to kind of pay a little bit of attention to is you can attack with Poppy and she'll boost the units on your bench. And so it's like we're not always... Oh, shit. I meant to get rid of Quinn as well. So it's like it seems like on pretty much every attack we've lined it up to where we just attack with everything. But she does like pass the bonuses down. So I have to watch with that as we have these like Fleet Feather trackers and things that we don't always want to attack with. It's like we're kind of in a space, like I don't want to spew off everything when we don't have to, and we have this Yordle Captain at play. So it's like I'm thinking of, we're coming up into turn 3 here. Oh, we just draw Badger Bear. Okay. So maybe this will just play out like that, and so we can like hold on to Blinding Assaults and then make these big turns where we play Quinn and Blinding Assault with the Captain on the board. But I don't think that's where we're going to be with this. Right, we can just make good hooks here. If he has a Mystic Shot or Vile Feast and whatever, and then, sure. Next turn we can play the Captain, and we can follow up with Quinn. So it's like odd and just like 1 mana, but I think this still looks pretty good. Okay. Taking a little 4-piece nugget here, that's fine. We could have gotten wider, right? We didn't have to play Quinn. We could have played like Balladeer plus Bird plus Blinding Assault. But I think this is going to be quite good. And it doesn't seem like he has the tools to actually deal with her. And he like really needs to play a spell right now. Otherwise, we're going to be able to get strong hooks. Interesting.
Just like hunting thresher geese.
It's like hunting pressure geese.
You'll pay.
These blocks are not good. We can't attack with the Yordle Captain anymore, but I'll hit with Quinn. As I might put the block here. He still has options to deal a point of damage to her, but I think this is okay. She's not like the main point of attack now, right? We're gonna start dropping stone stackers and stuff and having a bunch of boosted stats hit the board. Yep. So he gets the kill onto her, but we're gonna be fully wide this turn. One short. Bad. One short of fully wide. What? I'll take the bait, whatever this is. Don't quite understand that. Do we ever have to worry about, like, the ruination? Black Spear. Okay, that makes a little sense. What if... Do we ever find ourselves in a world where... We're not going to do it, but like, if we attack with the Valor and then mini-morph it? Get that 1 point of attack in? Ugh, that's annoying. So we missed. Don't think we. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to lethal either way, but it sucks to have that happen. Okay. Well, everything can trade with the Skitterer. He's clearly planning on blocking the stone stackers, but blasting in pretty big here. Gets him to 4. Would we have been lethal with an open there? I don't know. It's not a space where I like to just open, because if they have something like a vengeance or a burn spell or something, then the game just kind of ends. Gotcha. Okay. Let's just get this guy dead. We can take the 4 from the onlooker, and then we'll have a back-to-back for next turn if we need it. Not a lot he can really add to the board here for 1 mana. See, this is why I didn't want to just open last turn. We're fairly safe here now, right? We have the back-to-back for protection, but we didn't have it last time. So this will boom them. But you make that big attack, you don't affect their board. He's able to, you know, replenish some blockers out there. It doesn't feel good against the PNZ Ezreal style control deck. Cool, got through that one. Now with these, interesting set. I'm never taking the stand alone, but I am kind of interested in Silverwing Vanguard. It plays fantastically with Poppy, right? Getting the multiple units. Same thing applies to Yordle Captain. And we do have some of the, you know, ideas in that, well, we're playing these challenger birds. We want to pick up some like riposte style cards. I think it'll be good. This lecturing Yordle, I don't know. He doesn't he doesn't get me as warm as I used to when he immediately generated the thing. So you could like play the Yordle, shoot a blocker, attack, get another dart, and then clean up the combat. It's just kind of meh when he has to do it all in off of the attack. So weird. It's like a scouted out misfortune, but he went away from her.
Looking for a hero for my hero.
Bring it.
I won't back down.
Okay. You guys remember when this had tough? Said a 5-stat 2-drop with impact in Yordle isn't enough. We might as well put tough on it as well. So let's see how this goes. I'm still going to drop the War Chef here. We're curious if he's going to try and play like a Make It Rain, right? If he gets the big AoE with the Powder Keg. We'll see. We can Ranger's Resolve through a lot here if he goes for it, but ideally we'll be hooking the Keg with the War Chef, and he's not going to have particularly strong blocks against the Stone Stacker. Like if he blocks with Senna, do we trade the Ranger's Resolve for her? I think we do. It's tough for us to get like a better Ranger's Resolve than this. Just trading our 1 mana for his 3. Captain. Oh, he's out of mana now, so we can safely play him. But he's going to take down our Chef and our Stone Stacker. So now our new question is, do we want to play Quinn or do we want to play Silverwing Vanguard? Like Quinn does generate the unit, but I think we want to go with the Vanguard here. It's especially a good place to where it could potentially trade up, right? If he plays a 4/4 here and we get to Tiny Spear a Vanguard, fucking Lux. Okay. Try to deal with her next turn. See what we can build up to. Like, we can just drop the Swiftwing Lancer and maybe take her down. If he plays like a Remembrance here, that's where things start to be kind of shaky. Maybe everybody doesn't... he's not, like, he shouldn't be like a full Lux build around, so it might be okay, but... we'll see. Be ready with the single combat here. So much mana. I'm just gonna let this one happen. We'll try and take her down next turn with Quinn. It's just like this sucks so much if we try to go for the single combat and then he just has a prismatic barrier. And so at least with her having the damage on her now, like if he had 6 mana, like what wouldn't he play there? Like if he had a Redoubled Valor, I think he would have played it. If he had a Remembrance, he definitely would have played it. It just doesn't feel like there's a lot of cards that are protective of Lux that he doesn't just slam there, right? All of our removal spells are like strikes and stuff, and so if he's only looking at the face of the Captain, it's a really strong place to just drop Redoubled Valor. But again, he only has like the 1 copy of Lux. I don't think he's like super built around her. Now we're in this good space to where we can try and hook her down with Valor, and then maybe get him to spend a Prismatic Barrier on the Valor before we drop the single combat. Okay. Maybe he just doesn't have it, right? That's always a potential thing. I am gonna go ahead and try and take her down before he has like the expensive spell. So if he plays like a Riposte here, it sucks, right? But he can't get the final spark off of this card. That's not awesome. Just barely enough to do everything. Fuck. That is not awesome. So he's going to get the final spark now. Let's see if he plays it. If he just sparks the Captain or lets us attack. So he's sparking the Captain. We'll play the Honored Lord. Damn.
Friends, the young prince will be found.
But we at least have another way to respond now, right? If he goes into this turn and plays reinforcements, we should be able to concerted strike down the Lux. Keeper's Verdict is another way to just get rid of her. I don't really like the Keeper's Verdict, though. It does let him just like immediately play her next turn with Barrier. Interesting, on to Quinn. So this would be like 4, 7, 8, 9 if we just open. Let's see what he's gonna play his expensive spell. I don't think he's just gonna pass here. Whatever he just drew off of that dumb card, I think he's gonna play. All right, here's our shot.
Don't let them reinforce.
Don't let them reinforce. That's right, Lux. There's Quinn. Okay, so he can still attack this turn. It's not not a particularly good attack, but can do it.
Still heart, steady aim.
We'll try to flip Quinn. Feels like if he put some damage onto Quinn, he had some kind of ideas of actually coming down and killing her. It's like, I don't think this is going to be super successful all the time, but didn't do anything. You never lethal this turn, right? No reason to play the spear. The bird is going to hook Lucian.
We're not done yet.
This thing's going to block Quinn. Yeah, we're not going to lethal.
Say your farewells.
Judgment. It's not awesome. How were we supposed to play around Judgment? Okay. Can't mini-morph out of any of this, right? Alright. Nice epic, dude. Okay. What more can you say? At least, I mean, he's going to have to do some work to deal the damage to us. This is fine. Just going to pass on this. We can put the tiny spear onto Greenfang Warden next turn and maybe chunk in a bunch of damage. So he's being clever with something back here. He's got all these cards in his hand and not doing anything. There's no way it's just all combat tricks, right? No way. We don't win this game by her Keeper's Verdicting Lucian and then just hitting for 5.
Go ahead. Scare me.
Make it rain. Okay. This just worries me. We don't have any like expensive cards in our deck. I know the deck tracker's not on the board. I don't know what LOR Guardian's deal is, but pretty easy for him to just play stuff that's bigger than what we can do. But there's no way he has units in his hand, right? This Dawn Speakers has to be it. It's not to say he can't draw a unit this turn, but has to just be like combat tricks and stuff to be combating us with here. Another Lucian. Must be nice. All the mini-morphs. Okay. Give it all. So he's essentially giving everything quick attack and growing them to power and health equal to the highest power or health. So he's growing everything into 4/4s. Okay. Oh, 3/4s. Okay. So I mean we can mini-morph Sharpsight Lucian. That costs 8 mana. And then we want to... This is like the important one. We're not close to dying. We can't let him like continue to grow his board. So we can get rid of this dum-dum. Lucian can attack now. We can take him down with Sharpsight actually. And see if we can't punch in eventually. Plays Radiant. All right.
It's good to be the king. Fictions. All part of the job.
Takes them to 2. All right, we're getting close. Picks up a unit. Do we just want to get like a quick attack challenge next turn? Like all of this is fairly ignorable except the first blade. It's just the downside here is he gets to grow. That's fine. Pass.
Burn away the shadows.
This is 10. Roll to 3. Okay. So now next turn, we can drop a duelist. See who draws units. This was a great draw. Must block from opponent. Succession. Okay.
Here we go.
So we have to kill the unit here, right? We need to mini-morph this. Now we're 1 unit wider than him and get the kill. Jesus.
Fierce and fashionable, no?
Time to collect.
All right, there it is.
Try me, I
It's absurd. Fucking judgment. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. I was trying to get LOR Guardian pulled up there in the middle of the game, just couldn't quite do it. I don't know what its deal is. Let's see, I'll stop recording and see if we can't get it going. Got the little symbol up here at the top. I don't know what the deal with it is. At any rate, what do we think about these? Like, I'm good to trade away Purpleberry Shakes, but I don't want 3 back-to-backs, so we'll skip over that one. I think I kind of need to hang on to the Badger Bear. We don't have enough early plays, and the Ranger is objectively stronger, but we need to mind our curve here. And I think we don't need the Duelist, though. Like, the difference between the Duelist is it just doesn't have any stats, right? It was okay that game. Well, it wasn't even good that game, but we already have like a bunch of challengers between the birds, and so I'm going to get rid of it for the Blade Keeper. Blade Keeper also works quite nicely with Poppy in terms of growing her so she can boost your whole team. All right. Final battle awaits us. Oof. Here they come. Brilliant Soul, Leona, 2 Yasuos with Freylord. All right, this is just going to be a good card stack. So not a horrible start. We do have this this Blade Keeper into Poppy kind of thing, but I think I just want to get more on board with the Poppies. Let's get rid of that. Right, we're able to make like a turn. Well, it's tough to pull off, right? You can make a turn 4 attack with Poppy, but it's like visible to be like to what you're doing, and so your opponent can interact with her positively. But if we have some challengers on board, it might work out. Hang on to the Blade Keeper though. He might have his time in the sun here. And then how do we feel about this? I'm considering that I just want to get the shield this time, right? If we're going to try and get this Poppy attack on turn 4, then, you know, it might be very important to get her up to 5 health. So I'm just going to open. We're not going to get good hits with this Sleep Feather Tracker. If I played anything here, I don't think I'd want to challenge it anyways. Add this in, and we'll just play straight through the curve now. Okay.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
New venue, new money.
And Poppy.
Poppy! Poppy! I found a hero! Yeah? Where? What are you looking at me?
So, I mean, they have rando cards that could be good here. Meteor Showers, that's good. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty problematic, but that's not actually the end of the world for us. But I was gonna say they have cards that could be good here coming out of that Invoke, but we could, you know, readily handle something like a 4/3, or even the Warrior. Can't play the Warrior here, and so Meteor Shower was probably the only real problematic one, but I think we're still looking good. Get Yordle Captain down now.
From the sky.
I don't think we ever trade with this thing.
I know where I'm going.
We can protect our captain a little bit. The birds are a little too small, though. Okay.
Strength and grace, beauty into play.
Sure. I think if he's leading off with cards like the Heavens Aligned, we don't have to worry about him having a like Sunburst style card.
Part of the job. Move with me.
There's a lot of mana built up here, though. Ooh, he just blocks. Doesn't even go for a trade. I'm gonna say he's got something to come in and protect this with. This is not a line I ever suspected we'd be taking, but we do protect everything from the Blighted Ravine now. Purple Berry Shake plus the shield. All right. I'm ready now. I think we're in it to win it. Plays Green Glade Duo. I'll drop the Vanguard. If he has another AoE, then we are like really hurting here, but without it, I think we're completely fine. Let's see if this is successful. Can like troll chant, which is I was gonna use like our smaller bros in case we needed to get around a like get a block in with the Yordle Captain, but that's not the case. Now we could just come in and blast. It's gonna have the 1 damage AoE. You can get through the 1 damage AoE. Concussive Palm. And a Steel Tempest? Wish we could clear this thing out so we could mini morph off the stun. Probably doesn't actually work. But I think we just let this go. We can, like, Ranger's Resolve to try and protect our Silverwing Vanguard down here to the right, but I'm more worried about him playing Ice Shard and killing off our Kingpin and our Yordle Captain. Now we're back to being ready for another huge open with Poppy. Draclorn Inquisitor, okay. Here's Poppy.
Know the hero's around here somewhere.
Don't worry. A quest is the best way to find a hero.
Quest is the best way to find a hero. Preach it. And he has 10 damage on board, so we'll have to block something if he attacks. He only attacks with 7. We don't have to block anything, though. Take 3. Okay.
All part of the job. Look out!
Look in the units we can kill. See if that does it. Oh my gosh, he's got so many stuns and stuff. So many. Okay. Maybe we should have Rangers resolved that one. I mean, we're going to fill out our board again, but we would have got to save 2 birds that way. Okay. The back-to-back. Yeah, that was probably the turn to Rangers resolve. The Green Glade, oh fucking A. The Green Glade duo turn was kind of whatever, but now it's a little different out here. We have to block Aurelian Soul.
Well, just do your best. Like my blade?
Okay. Might be able to get out of this. This would feel much nicer if we had all those extra birds. That was definitely an oversight not playing the Rangers resolve. So let's see, not Aurelian Soul. Let's hook this one in. Get the back-to-backs going. See if we can't recover. We want to see him just play like the Scourge, right? We know we can just beat the Scourge.
The strength of the sun and my faith are one.
Okay, it's going to need another unit. Has it? Fuck. Man. Gotta lose to the emote and dipshit even because we didn't play our Rangers resolve.
Time to collect.
Alright. Well, he has to block, so we can wait and play it now, but it's definitely not as good as it could have been. Now there's just tons of cards we die to. But that's on us. That's not on the dipshit emote and guy. That's on us for not playing the Rangers resolve and keeping all of our birds around. Okay, good job, guy. Alright. Man. I love being able to pull off the games when they drop the emotes on us. Like, if we picked up a mini-morph or something, we might have been able to get out of that one, but that one's on us. That's our fault for losing that. And so what are we going to do here? There's lots of epics and lots of high power in here. I want to pick up something, right? Our top end is not that good. It's just Quinn, Garen, Swiftwing Lancers, and seeing both Yordle Ranger and Tiana is powerful stuff. I'm leaning towards the Yordle Ranger, right? It just has more synergies with what we're doing, with it already having the Scout, but you do get to pick up some power with Tiana and her getting the rally, but the Yordle Ranger is also just 2 mana cheaper. And so that's the one I'm going to go with here. And yeah, that was a bit painful. We should have. I think we would have saved the 2 units, right? I think we were hooking 3 2s with 4 3s and then didn't play the Rangers resolve. So that one's on us. What are we doing here against the old Darkness deck? I think this is a okay-ish keep. It's just like I'd rather find another 1 or a 2. So I think I'm going to get rid of the Green Fang Warden as well. Just see if we can't get the Fleet Feather Tracker up and running on turn 2. Right, opponent likes to play those. What is he called? Like the 3/2 strike thing. And then if he just has nothing and we get to blast, that's huge. It's 3/2 strike thing. Okay. Alrighty, here's the Badger Bear. what are we gonna do here? Well, Bladekeeper's fine. I was looking to just drop the Green Fang Warden, so hopefully we could chunk in a couple points of damage, but now we're all strong on this board in the face of the soldier. Okay.
Kept above the rest.
Works for me. So now we have a couple of options. Oh, Yordle Ranger, that's huge. He drops Vigio, we'll play Garen. But if he attacks with Vigio, I'm fine to just jump in front. And then next turn, it's like, do we want to deal with back-to-back? Right, there's no tricks that he can have here. Shadow Isles only has the Ephemeral trick. Bandle City only has Purple Berry Shake. So we don't have to worry about losing this combat. But good, get him out of here. Of course. All right. So now, how do we feel? Do we want to make a back-to-back play? It's like back-to-back is pretty scary in terms of
I can see the whole battlefield from here.
him having like a vengeance or something when we decide to attack. Let's give everybody the boost. Oh shit, I forgot Vigio was going to grow. I'm curious if he'll actually come in and block now. Okay. Seeing 2 power die, these ephemerals are getting huge. Don't think we can attack anymore. I think that was probably fairly lucky that he didn't block with Vigio, but second back-to-back. We won't have 12 mana next turn, unfortunately. Let's just pass and see what happens. Okay, he doesn't get to see both of them. I was like, oh no, how scary is this going to be if he knows we have 2 back-to-backs instead of just 1? And what's this? This is something that just like reeks of Black Spear. I mean, sure, we have to get this Blight Blocker off of the board. This Vigio thing gets to happen a little bit, that's okay. Want to add the Balladeer. We want to add the Owlcat. And then next turn we'll look to do an open with Green Fang Warden. Or we'll play the Green Fang Warden, hit with him and the Yordle Ranger. And then see if we can't get a reasonable back-to-back. Senna. Okay. I don't think anything changes with the addition of the Swiftwing Lancer. This is what worries me. This Vigio is going to flip this turn, and there's not a ton we can do about it. Frustrating. But let's see what happens. We can always pivot to using the Swiftwing Lancer if we need to. It's like he knows we have back-to-back in this space, so it's not awesome. Not awesome is how that is described. So do we want to do anything here? Like the back-to-back doesn't actually kill anything. Okay. So do we need to like switch to hooking Senna? Again, like this Vigio is gonna flip. We can pass and then just let him like not have him flip next turn. And then we could hook in Senna. I don't see that being like a winning play. Ranger's Resolve can protect through the Ephemeral hit, can protect through the Rogue Maker hit. Is that 6? Let's To block with Senna now. Right. Steal the strongest enemy. Do we want to... I think we do just play this expensive back-to-back now, right? Oh, well, he's going to get to follow up with the darkness. We can't protect the Yordle Ranger either way. Well, we can back-to-back down here. We're taking him to 8. Alright. Let's protect our units and hopefully we can survive. I mean, we have a ton of health. We do have to worry about getting hit with like an atrocity, right? That would be lethal. not just yet, but an atrocity would be pretty big. Curious if this is just like a vengeance or something. Okay. Recalls the Senna. Now he's going to darkness the bird because that's the only thing it can kill. Can't Rangers resolve because we played the expensive back-to-back. It's fine. Ooh, he's going to let us untap? Interesting. Maybe we can get there. Well, we don't get the units back from Vigio. I gotta remember that. These units aren't coming back. Okay. Let's just continue to see what he's up to. Vhagar. Interesting. So we can add the Lancer. It's just the downside now is he's going to steal a unit. We're going to have the same width. We need to kill this, right? That's a kind of angle to getting through this. Alright, so we can get the block here. So the downside to this is we don't have... completely have a way through. We can only get like one unit through next turn and we can't +6 anything now. Did draw a riposte though. Did we do it? We just have to go for it and hope this is it, right? Uh-oh. He's not blocking our big units. We might still get there. We back to back here. He's going to play a vengeance on something. And then we get to riposte the other one. Why wouldn't he block with Vhagar? Oh my god, did we do it? Did we get there? Game says 0. Alright. Nice. I thought that one was going to be out of reach. Go us beating that flipped Vigio. I don't think I've done that before. at least in Expedition. Wow. Sucks for that guy. Alright, let's make our way into this final battle. Oof. So here, I want to keep our 1 rally. That's fine. Don't need any more back-to-backs. I could see trading out the sharp sight. It's just like our only cheap combat trick, though. I'm going to skip over this one. I really like the sharp sight, although I do need like more cheap units here. That's really where we're hurting. We can skip over all of these. Cataclysm is kind of interesting, right? You can Cataclysm a scout unit on your opponent's turn and get the attack token back, but you don't have like the good scouts for that, right? I guess we have a couple, right? You don't want to be doing it with Quinn birds. You want to be doing it with like Greenfang Wardens when it has the barrier or Grizzled Rangers, and we just don't have a ton of that style thing. I'm going to skip over that one. Here, let's pick up the Squire over the Shake. That's an upgrade. Don't want Jarvan. Don't want expensives. And Keeper's Verdict is kind of nice to have, but we need these cheap plays. Happy to pick up a Badger Bear. And for our last one, and I don't want War Chefs, but it's like we gotta have these 1s, 2s, and 3s here. I think we just skip over all of these. All right. Final battle's on. Ooh, so yeah, that was a real barn burner there. And man, I do have my final anecdote for the day. So wonderful. I love living out here in Kansas City. The things that like pop up are it's like there's not a lot of stuff that I want to go out and do, but you have the option to do it here. And it was just in like West Virginia, there just wasn't like tons of stuff to do, and I don't really want tons of stuff to do. Most of the time, I'd prefer to just sit around and make Runeterra videos, anyways. But I do like to have the option. And the thing that turned up for me today is got a vegan friend, and they do have, you know, like I had to get a birthday present, and you just hit up the vegan cafe. Have multiples of them. It's just like, that's one of those things I know in West Virginia would never be able to do. It's never a thing. And so it was nice to be able to go out and purchase a present like that. But if you are looking for a place to live, you want to purchase a 2,000 square foot for 150 grand, you can move to West Virginia and do it. People on Reddit all the time talk about the impossibilities of that type of thing, and certainly do it there. It's not even that bad of a place. All right, back to the action here. Opponent playing the Hecarim Azir Ephemerals deck, where we have a pretty good start running into this, right? They haven't done anything to take advantage of this. Diaz, he has a really tough time interacting with our boards, and this is a fine trade here. And we should be able to just like block their stuff for quite a while. So I think this is going to be good.
These dunes are the lifeblood of Shurima.
I was trying to see if we have an angle here to where like we can get a block onto the Sandcrafter and hit it with a single combat. It's not quite going to happen this turn, but equal or less. Okay, so we can Kingpin this turn. Give him the boost. We're going to play both Squires and just slam. The only way that this turn's going to go poorly is if he has like a Haunted Relic. A Rise. Oh. Makes the one token though. And then plays the Soul Shepherd after, so he's just fishing for blockers. Okay. And then I think we want to go for Spears. This board doesn't interact with ours well. You do actually have to worry about that +2/+2 combat trick coming out of this deck. It certainly lives here. But at this point, now that we've played all of our units, if we're trading a unit for that card plus, I think it's okay. He's going to get one good block onto these. No good blocks on everything else.
Keep your distance.
Okay. Now we may be able to get that single combat before he comes in and attacks on us. Seems pretty good. His deck needs to deal like a lot of damage early. It's only late game as Hecarim, and if you can kind of like stunt them before they're able to really get going, it's quite strong. We can eat some of this damage here to take him down. This will be a mini morph onto Hecarim block with Badger Bear. Not sure if he's going to hit with Sandcrafter, but then we can also have some good blocks with our other bros here. So if we do this, how does this look, right? He's going to put, like, I want you to be a 6 attack. Let's just spread this out. And now we can still do, like, mini morph plus single combat or however we want to deal with this Hecarim. Say this Hecarim's, like, going to block something. It's odd wishing I'd taken the, the shield. This is a back-to-back now, right? Looking good. Looking good. Let's see if he has a second Hecarim. Sandswept Tomb? Okay. You can, like, interestingly find ourselves in these spaces to where he can't actually attack with any units, and so he can't use the Tomb or the Diaz. I doubt that's ever going to be the case here, as he plays the Chronomancer and then predicts and probably wants to predict a unit to the top of his deck. But if he just passed it back to us, there is a real possibility that we would have wanted to single combat down whatever his play is next turn, even if it was just like the Chronomancer next turn. We're looking good here. He hit Azir. He's far away from flipping. I think we still want to try and just take him down, though. And we could potentially riposte out of this if we need to. It's tough for them to have combat tricks for him to save Azir, though. So do we want to riposte or do we want to mini-morph? I'm leaning towards the riposte here. Mini-morph, we still lose our unit. All the Azirs. So he has to attack with the Chronomancer. That's just like a must-do this turn. We'll take the 5 hit from the Charger. Okay, so he boosted, but didn't boost any of his units. So we'll just take our blocks wherever we can. We'll leave the little damage on the Yordle Captain. Take 5. Okay. So now we'll bank 3. As it stands, we can Lancer the Azir and then Mini-Morphine. You might just get to lethal, though. This was a big draw on the Fleet Feather Tracker since he only has 1 card. Well, that's going to be a saver for him. Alright, so the Azir goes down. We can, like, attack, but it just doesn't seem super worth. Right, we're going to lose 2 units to chunk some damage in. Like, he's back to the same spot to where he has to draw a unit or his cards are dead. If he draws a unit, it's tough for it to be a game winner. I think we're good here. Golden and she missed. Oh, you should have learned about the free-to-play life or the pay-to-win lifestyle, my dude. All right, GG. Nice little 7 winner on the books. So let's get this pulled up. We'll talk about it a little bit more. I think I fixed Elowar Guardian, right? This is the icon. Make sure it was going to turn up before the trial ended. And so yeah, that was it was interesting. We did switch from being, intending to draft around Quinn to just becoming a Poppy deck, but I think that that's completely fine. Quinn isn't like a super like important build around champion. She is strong, but you run into the problem with Demacia to where if you're looking for those like game ending 5-drops, there's just so many of them and they're all the same between like Quinn and Garen as champions, and then even at like not epic where you have the Swiftwing Lancer and Challenger Dragons and all that stuff, and then you do have the powerful epics like Yordle Rangers, and we saw Tiana in there, and then things like Brightsteel Formation. There's just like so much good top end in Demacia that you don't like really need it unless it's like a key component to your strategy, and it just rarely is. And so it's not to say that like Swiftwing Lancer is better than Quinn or Swiftwing Lancer is better than Garen. It's just that if Quinn is an 8 and Swiftwing Lancer is like a 7.5, and so is she better? Yes. But is she like a supreme amount of better that where it makes a gigantic difference? Not really. And so we didn't feel the need to draft Quinns, but you do still have to like stop and think about the cards that you're going to be seeing frequently, right? The cards that are going to turn up a lot. You're going to see a lot of Scouted Out Quinn. You're going to see a lot of Relentless Quinn. Those archetypes both have a lot of scout units just by design. And then they have a lot of challenger birds. And so how do we take advantage of these small challenger units? And how do we take advantage of units that can attack multiple times in the same turn? And that is growing their stats. And so that made Poppy kind of a natural fit here. The things like Yordle Captain are also a natural fit as to where you're going to be going wide. You want your scout units to grow. You want your little things to grow. And if you're not doing it with spells like, Riposte or Back-to-Back or Sharp Sight or whatever, then having these units do it is incredibly powerful. And so that was the idea behind the deck here today. And we were able to pick up pretty early that we would be able to pull that off. I forget exactly where it hit. I think it was here at Picks. No. Is that how it played out? At Pick 6, this was the Mentors pack. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Pick 6 was the Mentors pack. I think that was the most definitely a pack to where there was a better set of cards, but we took the Mentors pack so we could try to get the Poppies to show up. I'm pretty confident that's exactly what happened. And it paid off for us here in the end. Those Poppies were extremely powerful, and the ideas here worked. So that is the thing with this deck, and so keep that in mind as you draft this. Right, you're going to have a lot of Challenger birds. You're going to have scout units. How do I take advantage of that? The basic way to do it is Misfortune, right? The archetype works with her. Your challenges are good because you can hook 1 attack units for free. Your small units get to attack up, right? Since you're dealing an additional point of damage with everything when it attacks. That is kind of like the core idea and strategy, but we just pivoted off to doing that with Poppy today, and it worked fantastically. And so kudos to us. We got the win. We had some bad losses in there along the way, a few misplays while we were at it. We got distracted talking about the wizard, but we still managed to get 7 wins, and that's as many as you can get. So we maxed out on them and did it. Congratulations, us. So I think that is going to do it for us today. No more rewards. So for your reward, you can go out there and watch some of the seasonal tournament. I do believe that's running. By the time this video comes out, the seasonal championship style thing should be happening, and so that's out there if the competitive stuff is your thing, or if you're only here for the expeditions, you can go into the backlog. But that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the trial. You learned how to scout it out with the best of them. You learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.